Welcome to Shaping Shenanigans, the BCBA group chat where data meets drama, behavior meets banter, and every conversation comes with a side of reinforcement.
Hi guys, welcome back to Shaping Shenanigans. I'm Katie.
I'm Janae.
And I'm Aria.
And today it's new year, new standards, and we're diving into these 2026 changes for those RBTs.
Yes. So before we dive into that, let's talk about our start as RBTs. Because we all were RBTs, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So when did you realize, or what made you become an RBT? Also, how did you find out about the title of an RBT?
Now this is a story all about hunting. So actually, long story, kind of make it short. I was in college and I had recently switched from being a nursing major to being a kinesiology major because I wanted to do occupational therapy. And so I was, trying to pursue that. However, like OT school just went from a bachelor's to a doctorate. And so the requirements to get in shot up. And so it was really, really hard to get in. And so I, just applied just to see. Obviously, hell no, did not get in. Because, in my undergrad, did not really focus as much on my studies as I did when I was in my master's. But I had a friend who came across ABA and she was telling me about it. And it just really like intrigued me and was like really like felt like something more that I wanted to do rather than OT. And I had also just got declined for school, so that was also like a
slap in the face.
Yeah, like literally a slap in the face, especially coming from someone who like is like very like strong-willed when it comes to like academics. And so like, straight A's, like have to get like, really good grade. And so to be like told no to a school was like really like, okay, girl. Humbled me for a little sec there. But my friend, she had started working for an ABA company, and she was like, yeah, like this is what I do. I work with kids, on the spectrum, and this is what we do. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. And so I started just researching, like what the hell is, ABA, like what is RBT, what is all these acronyms and all these letters, and came across BCBA. And I was like, oh, like that sounds like, like something I would want to do. Because ever since I was little, I always knew I wanted to work with kids in some shape, form, or fashion. And so I started researching, found BCBA, and was like, okay, this is, something that I want to pursue. But I was like, let me just dip my toe in the water basically to see like, what that even is. Cause I had never heard of it before then. And so I found a job, found a company. And
company.
My very first company, bless their hearts. They obviously hired me. And this was February 2020. So I got hired on as a RBT.
Okay.
Y'all know where this is. Y'all know where this is going. So got hired on as a RBT. Well, back then I was just a behavior therapist because I wasn't certified yet or registered. And so I got hired, but then I wasn't supposed to start until like I think like March 15th or something like that. Obviously, we know what happened at the beginning of March. COVID hit. So they, messaged me and they're like, yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to delay your start date. We're on a hiring freeze right now. We're sending everybody home. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is not for me right now, And so I just continued working at my little office job from home. And then April, like the end of April, they called me back. And they said, okay, like they're slowly letting us hire people on. Like we already like interviewed you and like we think you're great. Like, are you still wanting to work for us? And I said, yes. Started shit ass company. crazy ass shit, unethical ass shit. But of course, I'm little baby
Don't know
BT.
nothing.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about the field. I don't know anything of like what's supposed to be correct or anything.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I'm like, that place needs to be shut the fuck down.
Absolutely.
Like that's a whole nother episode, like shitty companies and like the things that they put you through as a BT.
Oh, yeah.
But I only worked there for 6 months because it was really bad, really bad. Like one restroom for 30 patients and like what 40 RBTs.
What the hell?
Yeah, one singular
What y'all was working out
restroom.
of house?
Right.
It was like an old senior living facility.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was haunted.
No wonder it's not your living facility.
Exactly, because the old
What
I
bathroom?
guess it's out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. as hell.
Yep, one restroom. So that was super fun. But then like maybe like 2 months in, they got another restroom working, so 2 restrooms.
So there were more restrooms at the facility.
There was. They were just all broken.
Okay.
And then a lot of the restrooms were used as storage. Yeah.
That's so unsanitary.
Wow.
Literally.
All right.
That's
But
wow.
anyways, that's how I got into being an RBT. And then, started being a BT, got registered finally because they took their sweet ass time doing my competency. It's just a whole thing. I'll get off my soapbox.
I
I'm
bet
sorry.
Katie's
I'm rambling. I'm rambling.
Trauma.
And can you tell?
Yeah. I know we talked about a GoFundMe for Janae, but we might need one for Katie next.
Shaping Shenanigans GoFundMe. I don't know. But yeah, it was a time. But yeah, that's how I got it to be an RBT.
Okay. Well, me, although it was somewhat traumatic, it wasn't as traumatic as just having one bathroom. But starting at the beginning, very, very similar. It's kind of crazy how both of our paths, like getting into ABA, are very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on the path of doing nursing school, some of the classes. I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
This ain't it. Mm-hmm.
But like you just said, very adamant about always knowing that I wanted to work with children in some capacity. So didn't do nursing, ended up changing to do exercise science, which is what I have my bachelor's in.
That's what my bachelor's is in.
Yeah, that's something like, it's like we got the same story. So yeah, got my bachelor's in that. Then I was like, oh, I really want to go the OT route. But when I'm trying to remember, like, what year did you pursue this? Because for me, it hadn't like yet changed to the doctorate program, but they were talking about like in the future, like that was going to happen type of thing. So
it would have been like late 2019, early 2020.
Okay, that checks out because I moved into Dallas in 2019.
Okay.
And became an RBT in 2019. So the company, thought I was going to do OT. I did intern for an occupational therapy center, but that guy, he was like really big on focusing on behaviors too. And we, as interns, were like, had to play many hats or whatever. But he kind of like told us about ABA. So it was like always in the back of my head, but I was like, I don't know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So decided to move down here after graduating. Knew I needed a job. Knew I did not want to like work in the field that I had already been in previously because it wasn't like my passion or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up looking up ABA clinics and stumbled upon the one that I started at. Don't recommend going there. But it was a good stepping stone to learn, like, what not to do,
mm-hmm.
things of that nature. So yeah, started there, became an RBT officially in June of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then, worked there and all those things and went from company to company to company to company again. As an RBT, lead RBT, just different roles, still as a registered behavior technician. But yeah. That's really it, I think. What about you,
Okay.
Jermaine?
For me, I would say I didn't know the specific RBT role until I moved here. But before that, we were classified as line staff back home. So got into it because I was in school. They sent out emails. I was like, hey, you want to try? Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and try it. See what it do. So I was classified as a line staff there. Did that for 3 years, maybe.
Okay.
And then I moved out here in.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome.
2018, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 2018. And that's when I discovered a registered behavior tech. And then I did that 3 years, moved on up to a BCA.
Now we're here.
Simple.
There it
is. What would you say was the hardest part about being an RBT for y'all? Or even taking the RBT exam?
For me, the RBT exam was easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Like it was.
Yeah, that shit was easy as hell.
The RBT exam was so easy for me that I took my exam the day after I got stuck on a flight. Well, I was coming back from Christmas, from being back home, stuck in the airport because it was snowing. Literally probably didn't get home till like 5 in. Went to work, took my exam right after work and passed. So it's really, it was really not hard at all.
But no,
more love the story.
Yeah.
As far as being an RBT, I don't know. I think it was easy for me. Like so easy. I wish I could go back sometimes. I think too it was different because the company I was at, they owned the company. The BCBAs actually were there. They actually owned the company. So you take a little bit more pride and hands-on approach.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of that support, and the confusion wasn't there and all that. So, but you don't find a lot of companies like that anymore. Everything's like a branch. We have 1,000 companies in 20 different states. So it's a little bit harder for that care. But I don't regret any of it.
Yeah. I would say, same. The RBT exam for me was very easy. I don't think I studied it at all. It Ariel was saying, it was very common sense, and every freaking question was, oh, refer to the BCBA, refer to the BCBA. So I feel like I would take the RBT exam over the BCBA exam any day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I would say biggest thing for me, starting as a BT, there definitely needs to be more training, because a lot of times you're coming in, you have no idea about the field, you have no idea basically what you're getting yourself into, unless you already kind of know what ABA is. And for me, in my first company, I kind of felt thrown to the wolves, because I'm a fast learner, and I, pick up on things, and kind of exactly like you said, again, they see that it, and they were just like, okay, you're good, bye.
Yeah.
And they did groups, so I would be in a group with 3 other 3 patients basically, and it was me and those 3 patients, and this company did preteen, so they were 10, 11. And so, or maybe 9 or 10. It was up. It was
so it was just you.
Yeah.
3 patients.
Yeah, that's how a part of my job was at the time when I was a lead RBT and had a caseload and so much unethical shit. But
crazy stuff. And so and it would be 2 boys, and they would feed off of each other. And so if one went into behavior, the other would go into behavior, and they would just bounce off of each other, and then just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I worked for that company for 6 months. I can count on one hand how many times a BCBA came to observe me. It was wild. So definitely felt very unsupported. And I'm so thankful that I did not allow myself to be like, fuck this shit and just leave the field altogether. I stuck it out. But yeah, I would say definitely RBTs. I loved being an RBT. I miss that like one-on-one with the kids, and like actually getting to like play with the kids.
Less paperwork.
Less paperwork, less admin things to like worry about. It's literally your life is the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you got to worry about. That's it. Running the targets, playing with the kids, trying to do it as naturalistic as possible, incidental teaching, like it was so fun. I would take that. So like, yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit about our RBT journey.
Awesome. So, kind of diving into these changes now. So this has probably been one of the biggest changes for RBTs in a while. So I would say, there's going to be, some growing pains when it comes to changes. Change is hard sometimes. But the first thing that we want to kind of dive into is like, what do we think prompted these like updates and like these changes to like the RBT credential?
I would say okay. Let me first start by saying there are a lot of skilled technicians out there. I'm not trying to discredit them by a long shot. And also there are a lot of people that get in the field just looking for a job. And this is not a field to where it's just like, oh, I love working with kids. Let me do this type of thing. Like you really have to have some patience. Like there's a lot of qualities that you need to be a quality RBT. So I think with them doing this, it kind of prepares like the field for like making sure that we do have quality technicians in the field doing the work that actually give a damn about the work that they're doing and not just trying to collect a paycheck.
Yeah. I think the field is ever growing and changing. So a lot of times the system has to keep up with that. I think especially because RBT seems so, compared to a BCBA, right? As a BCBA, it's such a broad field. You can go into different categories and systems and blah, 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 right? I think for RBT, you can too, but it has not focused on that. It has focused on, okay, you RBT, you're going to work with kids on the spectrum. And I think that's starting to grow and change, and people are seeing I can do other things with this. So okay, now let me reflect that. So like we can take CEUs on stuff we're interested in. So if I want to go into OBM, I can find a CEU at OBM. If I want to go into a play base or training, So now I feel like RBTs get that same opportunity to learn different things. So I think that's also kind of where it's coming from is, okay, let's explore a little bit more. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think another big thing too is because our field is, based off of science and like working with kids, I think it's important that, RBTs also have those like continuing education. And I think that's also like kind of like what prompted the board to be like, okay, so like how can we, make sure that they're also keeping up with like, the research and like what's new and what's better, because we all know the history of our field. And it's, so
hasn't been the best.
But I think that is probably also like what prompted them to be like, okay, we got to figure out a way for them to also be making sure that they're staying in with the times. What do we feel like, or do we feel like this is like a meaningful shift, or do we feel like it's gonna like create like a max exodus in the field? Like how do y'all feel like these changes are gonna be like accepted by RBTs?
I think it's a good change. I don't think it's gonna cause a mass exodus because I feel like people who get into it to stay in it and grow, they're still going to be there. And people who get into it just to, okay, let me see, let me get a job till I go to nursing school or whatever it is, are still going to do that. So I think it's not really going to change the turnover aspect. I think it will actually promote people to kind of learn and grow and actually want to stay. Because now we're I can learn new things. Let's try that out. So that's kind of what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think like it'll be a bad change. I feel like there will be like some growing pains along the way of, you know, figuring out where do I get these CUs and all the other things, which I know you're going to touch on as far as like going over the document or whatever. But I think ultimately it's going to be a good change, and it'll also kind of give back some autonomy to the RBTs, because a lot of times I feel like they feel like they're overlooked. So yeah, like it allows them to have a voice too. So,
what do we think this says about the field and like where it's going?
Hopefully into a positive direction. And a lot of it I feel like, you know, is only time will tell. Like this is still like very new. The field is very new. But even like the changes, you won't really know what difference they'll make until they're actually in practice. So
because it's going to be hard because it's new to them, and I'll touch more on what I think is going to be hard once we get down to the requirements. I don't want to spoil it. But it's going to be hard to keep up, because I know even for me getting CEUs, like sometimes I'll be like, I got so much time, let me hurry up and get the CEUs. So but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to give them like more power and feel like, okay, I am somebody.
With the little badge or something. But yeah. Okay, so let's talk about like what does it really mean for like the RBTs and the supervisors? So do you feel like this should be like a with the changes being implemented and all those things, do you guys feel like it's a time to panic or prepare for what's to come?
I think prepare. For me, like, because we already kind of have the experience of getting those CUs, I feel like the only panic might be from RB2s who can't afford, you know, to buy the CEUs. So I think it's going to land on companies to make sure they're either like providing them free or providing like, you know, some type of like, you know, compensation or something so that they're able to get the CEUs. Because I mean, it is part of the job. So they should pay for it, you know? And we all know RBTs don't make that much money. So adding this extra expense might be a lot, but I think it'll be still good for them to do.
Yeah. What you think, Janae?
It's okay to
my mind. No, I'm not disagreeing. My mind is just going a bunch of different places right now.
Same.
Only because I do also feel like we're touching on it, but we're not saying it. So maybe we should just go ahead and say it. What are the changes? You know, because we keep talking about CEUs and things like that. So what are the changes? Let's just dive in. Let's dive in,
because we are tiptoeing around the elephant in the room.
The elephant. So if you're in RBT or if you supervise RBTs, you should have received an email from the board, many emails actually. They've been talking about this for, I want to say 2-3 years now.
It's been a while.
But they officially went into effect January 1st of this year. So the biggest thing, or some of the biggest things that they changed, they did update like the 40-hour training to become an RBT. That has all been updated with like just new curriculum, new, you know, just kind of like updating with like the times and like the new research. And, you know, I know that the ABA field is going more towards like that compassionate care and stuff like that. So they did update that 40-hour training. And then they also made some slight changes to like the competency. I've seen the form. I've already done it with some of my RBTs. Pretty much it's very, very, very similar. I think they like kind of combined a few sections, took some sections out. But the biggest thing is it's pretty much the same core things that we've seen previously, nothing too like different in that aspect. But kind of what we have been talking about already, they're calling it PDUs, but they're basically continuing education units.
Professional development.
Yes,
Units.
professional development units.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at you.
Well, ours is continuing education. Why they decided to say PDU instead of just also calling it CEU, I don't know. But
Yeah.
the
Gotta be different.
Maybe because they're continuing their education, but we're continuing it in a
professional development.
In a manner of we have a master's degree, so we're adding on to that education of a master's degree versus some of them just need diplomas. So
that's
okay,
true.
let's develop as a professional.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So another huge change that they did, so they added those professional development units, but then they also shifted from a 1-year recertification to a 2-year recertification cycle. So this kind of just aligns with the BCBAs, because BCBAs also have to recertify every 2 years, but also B, it gives you time to get those professional development units.
Right.
So if you, got your RBT January 6th and on, January 1st, 2026 and on, you are automatically already on that 2-year cycle. So you got your RBT, you will not have to recertify until 2028, and you will have to meet all of these requirements. However, if you got your RBT before January 1st of this year, you are still on that 1-year recertification cycle, and you do not have to get those PDUs until you recertify this year. So even if your certification expires December 31st of 2026, you do not have to get those PDUs this year. Once you recertify, then once your certification is up again in 2028, that's when your PDUs will be due. So those are like the biggest changes. That 2-year recertification cycle, and then having to get those PDUs.
I have a question.
Yes.
Me too.
So now I just got a little confused. I thought it was okay. I have a couple of who do like I got to do them this month. They got to do them. They've been putting it off. Once they recertify, then they're on that 2-year track. They can start getting
correct.
So because you said 2028, so I just wanted to be clear.
That would be the 2-year cycle.
That would be that's when the 2 years is up.
Yeah,
but they have to get the PDUs
within that 2 years.
Within that 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's got a little confused.
It's confusing because those RBTs that were RBTs before 2026.
Yeah.
Even though it started this year, they're all technically still on that 1-year cycle until they recertify.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying also, like, if you got your RBT December 31st, 2025, you're still on that
December 1st, 2026. Recertified, then you're on 2-year track.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand why it
was
got it
good.
Yeah.
And so another big question is, how do we get these PDUs?
Hello. I had people hounding me.
Right, because I don't know.
Already
and I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I have already seen places like Behavior Live start offering those professional development units.
Yep. I love me some Behavior Live.
Same.
Yep. But luckily in this document, it does talk about 3 ways for you to get your PDUs. One is in-service training. So in-service training provided by the same organization where the RBT is employed. So this is, I'm assuming, where most of those are going to come from. These companies are going to have to create internal,
webinars or something.
like webinars or seminars or something for their RBTs to attend so that they can meet this requirement. And then there's also the ACE providers, which is like Behavior Live, basically the people that provide, the continuing education or now the professional development units. And I'm pretty sure there will be options for paid, and then there will be free options just like there are for us.
Right.
And then behavior analytic university coursework with a grade of C or better does count.
Oh,
that's cool. Okay.
Yes, will
so
count
they can
towards
go...
PDUs.
okay. So everybody who in school right now.
Yeah, they can. That's great.
Okay. Yeah.
But
that's good.
Don't eat them up. Take that back.
Right.
No, but I have had some people say, well, so I can use my coursework for my PDUs, but I cannot use it for my coursework if you're trying to become a BCBA, and you cannot use it. You cannot use coursework.
Well, wait, what?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
That's so contradictory, because it's like I want to stay in this field and I'm pursuing.
So I'm randomly doing college credits.
Yeah, some other shit.
CU.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So you can use your college, you can use your behavior analytic coursework to continue with your RBT, but it cannot count towards your field work.
Interesting. And what you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, how many PDUs do they have to get?
That was my
Does it
question.
Let me see.
Because we're required to get 32.
Yeah.
Ask
Oh,
me how
it's
many
not
I got.
32.
I thought theirs was like 12, maybe.
I think it is like 12.
That
or
sounds
something.
right.
Let me see.
I feel like I read something about that that said 12. I mean, or y'all can just
12
look it up.
PDUs
Okay.
before your recertification date. Submit a recertification application.
Yeah, 2 years
Yes.
to get 12 credits.
Yeah, that's easy.
What's that? Do one every 6 months?
Yeah.
Every 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know
then
what the math is right now.
Okay.
sure,
That's
the
okay.
math
Like
ain't
that.
mathing. But even
Something
like
like that.
you know, like how like some ACE providers, goodness, can get that out. They like group them all together, so you can just have them all. You can just pay, I don't know, $50 for 12. It probably won't be that cheap, but you'll get more bang for your buck that way.
They also do RBT conferences now too.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute. I like that.
I've seen at least 2.
Because they're trying to get these PDUs.
That stuff. Okay, that's great.
Oh.
All right.
And then another question you might be wondering is, how do you keep track of your PDUs?
Yeah.
What will happen is once you get your PDU, they'll give you like some type of like certificate, and then you will have to upload that to your board account, kind of like how they like keep up with ours. They will also have a separate like tab in your little account where you'll upload those, and it will keep track of like how many you've earned, which ones you've done, all of that stuff. So that's how it would be.
A professional. So I know you say you walked us through the cycle of, if you've already been in RBT, these changes, like, yes, they apply to you, but you still have time until you have to start collecting those PDUs. So do y'all feel like there's anything that supervisors should be updating like in this moment for their RBTs?
I think being able to tell them where they can get them from.
Yeah.
I think also for me, which is probably for y'all too, because y'all like to train as well.
Yeah.
Having my own trainings too. Especially if your company does like staff meetings or anything like that. Because that's where PDUs can be earned for everybody as well.
For sure.
I think that's really the biggest thing, because now, I mean, granted, they're supposed to keep up with when they need to recertify, but you have to keep up with your PDUs now. And I think that's going to be the hardest thing for them.
Yeah, something else for them to be accountable. Yeah. Let's not talk about how many CUs I need before October. But yeah. But
we're going to Texaba. You'll get all of them there.
Yeah, I actually have a list in my phone under my notes of CUs I've already purchased.
Oh, okay.
That I just need to watch
and do it.
Yeah. Plus the ones that we're going to when we go to the conference. So yeah, I'll be good to go. But I'm just like, girl, you've been bullshitting. But yeah. So going back to what you just said, Janae, about doing our own trainings, do you guys think that there is anything that or not anything, but like, how do you all feel that training programs will need to be adjusted to account for that PDU requirement?
I'm gonna say something. It
Uh-oh.
might be controversial for us.
Oh, okay.
That one company, they got it already. Because
Yeah.
they do those monthly trainings like freaking clockwork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they stopped doing that. I think they're
Oh.
revamping. But
Oh,
What?
disregard that. I ain't
Oh.
been there.
It's been
yeah,
a minute.
they're revamped. They stopped them, and they're revamping, is what I heard.
Because I get that, because it was like, if you was there for a year, you get
You
the
already
same
did
thing.
literally the
Yeah.
exact same ones. I'm like, dude, what
Yeah.
I already
the
watched
fuck?
this
Yeah.
last
But
year.
if they're keeping that same sort of context,
It's gonna be that
them
same
people at that company gonna have them PDUs.
Mhm.
Yeah, they already
They already got them,
basically
probably.
already. Yeah, I heard that they basically already are like looking into ways to
Mhm.
provide the PDUs, and it's going to be exactly like that at the monthly staff meeting. You'll get your
Okay.
PDU or whatever.
Wonderful.
Because if it's a requirement for me to attend, if I work for your company for a year, I already got all 12 of them.
There you go.
Because you got to go.
Mhm.
And if you don't, you know what that means. But yeah, we're not going to get into that.
So I think
Word.
that's kind of good in
Mhm.
that aspect.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people at those companies.
Right.
Because I know for my company, we don't have nothing. Our staff meeting is 15 minutes via
Really?
the Zoom.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So I forgot the question.
Just how do training programs, how will they need to be adjusted?
Oh, so yeah.
Or if
I
they
would
will
honestly go after that model.
Yeah.
Of that company.
Mm-hmm. Because it makes sense.
Yeah. You learn the stuff in the staff meeting. All right, you go back and practice it with your BCBA.
Mm-hmm. Credit. Yeah. The company that I'm with right now, their staff meetings are not 15 minutes. They're actually very thorough. This is like one of the things I enjoy about being at this company so far is how they're doing their trainings, and it's very like intentional. It's not like this could have been an email type shit. So I like that. So yeah, I think, like, if they continue to move on that same path, there won't have to be too many adjustments made. Yeah.
I think, how does the PDUs transfer into real life for the RBTs? What do you recommend? So we got our different routes we can go.
Yeah.
What do you recommend for PDUs for RBTs who maybe want to stay in this field?
I would say for sure, make sure that you're like not just getting the easy random ones. I would say if you are looking to stay in the field, pursue further education, BCBA route, whatever, look for something that interests you, that maybe either applies to your kiddo that you're currently working with, or something that you're interested in or that intrigues you, because it'll be fun to learn about,
right?
So
yeah, especially if you're I don't know how advanced these credits will be for them, or these units, whatever you want to call them, will be. But say for instance, if you want to stay in the field and you're already getting the upper hand of learning how to do certain assessments and learning different techniques that you can apply, like you just said, to the kids that you work with, or just add another notch to your tool belt of just skills that'll be very beneficial as you navigate through your BCBA career or ABA career. Things like that is what I would most commonly suggest, for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like this change is something parents should be aware of or even care about?
Caring about, maybe not. They got a lot of other stuff to focus on. But I think for the sake of kids being in the care of strangers in a way, I think it's good for families to know, as a bonus, because you were saying earlier, our field hasn't always had the best reputation. So knowing that the board is now requiring additional stuff for not stuff, but just requiring additional, some little razzle dazzle for the people that work with their children the most. I think it's just like maybe going to be good for additional buy-in for families.
Yeah.
Like y'all are about y'all shit. Like y'all are really trying to make some positive changes.
Yeah.
So I think for that aspect, but they don't need to know about all the ins and outs of it because they don't care about that. I mean,
baby, come get this kid,
please, right now, today.
Come get him. Okay, they off from school. They got to go.
Get them.
Okay. Well, guys, that's it for our RBT competency or RBT 2026 changes.
Updates,
updates. Mm-hmm.
Like, share, subscribe. If you know a RBT, send them the link. Let them listen to it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
The rhythm I have can escape it. Baby, don't fight it, embrace it. De la cabeza a los pies. El ritmo te mueve otra vez. Suelta ahora, así es mejor. Deja esa timidez.